The year is 2017. And oh my God, it's only been 1 year and a new season of Stranger Things comes out. That's unheard of. Unheard of. And we're still in that purity stage. So let me go ahead and change with my Wii remote. Nostalgia era, right guys? Stranger Things 2 is now a real deal. I like to call everything with an era. Last era for Stranger Things season 1 was the underdog era. This one I would like to call a near midway point of corporation meddling with our nostalgia and not knowing the limit era. And the beginning of the Marvelization of everything / Marvel humor era. What if an intensely retro show became nostalgic for its own first season? But season 2 didn't reinvent anything, but it certainly did a lot more than we hoped in the other seasons. And now for the fact. After season 2 release, Kellogg's reported a 14% increase in Eggo consumption and the highest number of monthly social media mentions in 1 month for the brand. And this was like the beginning era of Instagram where you could just post a picture, I think, of a Kellogg box and be chilling.
Fila da puta? What does that mean? Did you make me say something bad?
So I can understand this. They think they're poppin', and Stranger Things is making brands poppin'. That's a big deal, because you know what that means. Money, investments, opportunities for other brands to suck this youthful child brand into something that we're slowly getting used to in modern day, which is soulless corporate media. It's kind of sad to see because it feels like someone bleeding in an ocean and there's 12 sharks waiting to attack. It's like that little sniff smell and Finding Nemo, and then Ellen DeGeneres is realizing, wait, I can make a sequel. And they're like, no, we didn't want the sequel. It's stupid.
How many Emmys did Stranger Things win this year?
Ha! Fine, sorry. No,
I'm in line for 2 years, or did you not know?
That has nothing to do with anything.
Answer the question.
Marvel during this period, killing it. Everyone's eating that up. I blame 2 films for this Marvelification. One for bringing Marvel into a whole new era, but also changing what movies should be and also what writing should be. Spider-Man: Homecoming, and also Guardians of the Galaxy. These films ushered in Gen Z, a fan base with no cultural identity besides America's past. So they have nothing that's present. There's nothing that's like kind of leaning into the future and hoping for the future. It's always looking back. And then you merge them in with the Facebook meme millennials. And then, yeah, like, I'm a running with you, you were running with me. And I say,
home,
yeah.
let me go. Home is hot.
With this new audience merging in, you create this space where the writer doesn't really know who to write for anymore. Am I writing for the millennial Facebook meme jokes, or am I writing for the Gen Zs that are like always looking for that hit,
that
always looking for that
girly?
Like I don't. So then it goes into merging in of wink wink jokes. Every beat gets undercut. Like second you're like, oh shit, something's about to happen, and then something stupid happens.
Or you're about
like,
to cry, and they're like.
To be honest, I'm sure everyone has already heard this critique beaten down to death, and you know why?
Everyone has a career from this.
It's because YouTube was getting interesting at this point. People were giving reviews, people were talking about it, video essays. And that's also what changes Stranger Things a little bit, because now Stranger Things is the show to talk about for these video essayers.
Film bros are in.
Film bros are in, film girlies are in, and it's the perfect middle. So, you know, Marvel brought that conversation in, right? Of like, this stupid, or this so good, I love it, onto platforms.
Yep.
People can talk about it. And Stranger Things, since it's during that time, gets sucked into it. So I'm gonna give in some also positives. It's not just negatives, guys. We also have Get Out. It's changing our idea of what horror is. It is kind of a resurgence. We're seeing a lot of people go into theaters just for horror films now because of this.
And I mean, it elevated horror because it included so much relevant social commentary that's
true.
It was prestigious. The Academy finally recognized horror as a genre that could fit into what they considered film cinema.
But the Nintendo Switch came out, and then the Oscar blender came out as well. And that was when black cinema was starting to become a thing. A lot of people are talking about it. What should we expect? Should it get an Oscar? And it does. That's a big deal. We have BTS coming into America, and K-pop is now a thing. We have Kylie Jenner finally going full form, coming out of the Captain America, you know, that freaking vault that opens up and like Captain America's out there. That's Kylie Jenner now. She's out.
King Kylie.
Kris Jenner opened that up of King Kylie coming out. She's like, I'm ready to make $1 billion. We have the Tom Holland lip sync battle, which I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think a lot of people moved on from the Me Too movement, which is really sad, but no one really moved on from the lip sync battle.
I still watch that at least once every 3 months. Guilty as charged. Unfortunately, the Me Too movement stuck with the most insufferable people ever because to this day, they bring up Me Too being the downfall of Hollywood, showing that Hollywood is hypocrite. They bring up Ghostbusters being also the downfall, which I can sort of agree with the Ghostbusters part, but I just think it's so sad that people are so butthurt about a lot of victims of abuse coming out and trying to say like, this workspace is horrible for us.
That's the thing that's always a little funny with American audiences. When something's different, we throw a tantrum. We shouldn't throw a tantrum when something like this happens.
Yes,
when a Me Too movement happens, we should be like, finally, we can see a story we haven't seen. Martin Scorsese says every film's been made. No, that is not true. There are so many films by women-led perspectives that have never been made.
When we throw these tantrums, CEOs and these people who run these platforms and services or whatever, take it as let's play it safe. Let's just take male characters, the traits that male characters have, like Captain America, Luke, and just flip their gender. That just can't happen because biologically, we do not act the same way as men.
And I think that's what's so great about Levin's character is that she's written thoughtfully.
Yes.
And I think Eleven's character did more for that genre and pushing women into that genre than any character's ever done.
I agree.
Maybe now there would be more films with women-led characters. Humanized in sci-fi.
And being unapologetically vulnerable because I don't know why Hollywood tends to think that having any feelings for other people, showing love, any weaknesses is seen as not strong and that we should be girl bosses who have no souls because to me, strength is found within those emotions and within those attachments, you know?
Yeah. Do not bully Millie Bobby Brown, guys.
Yeah.
She has done a lot for one writing, one for television shows, one for pushing new ideas. Back then, a woman-led character like this in a sci-fi world where she has powers and all these things is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, just give her a gun and make her act like the male action heroes.
There's a new species called Millie Bobby Brown hiding in the window. She's straight.
Has your life really changed?
No.
It hasn't at all?
No.
Controversial opinion. Season 2 is my second favorite season. I still think it had the essence of season 1. Yes, the bar plot, and yeah, I still skipped the Lost Daughter episode, but to me, it was much more than that because it built upon Eleven's character. It still has that eerie essence of season 1. We got to see Noah Schnapp's acting chops. Like, Will was a crucial character here, and we got to actually continue the tread of what he went through in season 1 and see how that's affecting his day-to-day.
Yeah.
Him as a child. Every time that kid has to act possessed or scared, wow, just keep him in that position. And also, Mike was still the heart of the season. And my favorite character is Mike, so when he gets to be the leader, when he gets to hold the group down and bring them back to the emotion, I love this show. I feel like the minute they sidelined Mike and there was no sense of ranking amongst the group and who to focus on, I got lost in the sauce of, 80s, but that hadn't happened yet here.
No, it hadn't happened. And I think what was so funny, so Noah Schnapp was so good at playing Will that even when they had to recreate that moment in season 5, he had like tell him how to act like a traumatized little child scared in a little tent.
If it's there will be trouble, and if we could, there will be trouble.
Please, if you haven't seen those scenes in a while of him like having seizures or
being possessed by Vecna,
genuinely scares the shit out of me.
Season 2 also took what 1 did so well, which is subverting characters that we would typically see in 80s movies that were usually cliches. For example, I did not expect Bob Newby to stay so wholesome and kind. I had this inching feeling that he would turn out to be a villain, but he ended up staying true to himself and being one of the most adorable, supportive boyfriends I've ever seen depicted in cinema.
I feel like that actor, anything he does, I'm just like,
Goo goo gaga. But unfortunately, this was the true start of the Duffers introducing characters just to kill them off, instead of killing off the characters that would have left a more lingering emotional impact and added to the stakes of the bigger story. So this did seem risque at the time, but looking back at it, it was just this curse that would begin to swallow the whole show.
It was a cause and effect, right? Like, because of Dustin, he kept one of the demi-dogs, grew it up, and then by that decision, Will's potential could have been stepdad gets killed.
Yep.
Right?
And the cat. The cat died too.
And the cat died too.
And everyone has a role that feels like it's meaningful, and it all comes together at the end because besides Mike and Eleven's reunion, the scene where they try to bring out Will's humanity was very touching. And the fact that they had to use heat to get that entity out of him was also very chilling to watch.
Your mom.
That was such a good foil to 11. I think Will and 11 were such good potential siblings / parallels to each other, but then they didn't do much with it after this season.
Yeah, what we should talk about too is like Stranger Things is such a, I think at this point it was pretty popular, and it was a good example to make for current generation or similar generation aged audiences, right? Like if you're seeing Steve hanging out with Dustin, Steve's a high schooler, he's like the most popular kid, and he's hanging out with like a kid that nobody wants to dance with at school. And so like when you're seeing these two characters interact with each other, it then says as a person, as a viewer, oh, I could talk to a kid like that, and maybe I could build a relationship with them. And sometimes we create these barriers in our heads. So it's nice, like another thing is 80s show based in the 80s, you would think like there's nothing to learn from this. No, it's like every character, every moment, every decision that they made, it's like, oh, I could do this too. You know, I could feel this relationship. I could do a similar relationship.
Okay, I'll take this one. Fan the boy. Yes, I'm pregnant.
I think there's something to learn from all these characters, and that's what was so charming about this first 2 seasons.
Yeah, even Hopper accepted that he was being too much towards Elle, and I think this is the last time he actually has a sincere arc, because his character kind of felt complete by now. It's almost like, what else could he learn? I loved Hopper and Eleven's dynamic and how he got a second chance to have a daughter. He was a bit overbearing and protective, but it made sense with what he'd experienced in the past. I mean, because he would never want that to happen twice in his life.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. You just graduated from no TV for a month to no TV at all.
No! No!
You have got to understand that there are consequences to your actions.
You are like Papa!
I also think Max bringing intention in the group while Eleven's missing was good, because we got to see Eleven actually try to understand herself outside of everyone protecting her, telling her what to do, teaching her, not letting her watch TV. You know, Hopper was very strict in the way she was being raised.
Yeah.
I love that she gets to step out of that bubble here, which was Hawkins, Hopper's cabin, and it really reminded me of Empire Strikes Back, because she gets to go off on her own adventure. She meets people who would understand her powers, though the episode's not that good. And also she gets to go to her mother and see how she does have a family, she does have a real name.
Yeah.
But I do like that it's her seeking these answers out, and it isn't just spoon-fed to us. Like, we're just seeing her as a child step out into herself. And I thought it was really funny that by the end of the season, she had the black eyeliner and she was saying the word bitching.
Yeah.
And to her, that was so cool. But it was still witnessing someone try to find a shoe that fits her. Like, clearly it's still not fully there, but it was adorable to see her explore that. And it also led to one of the most touching scenes, in my opinion, in the whole entire show, which was when Mike and Eleven reunited. That still makes me cry. Like, when Mike has that moment with Hopper and starts hitting him, and just, I thought that really captured just how much these kids had been through, because you're constantly seeing them experience these supernatural forces. You're seeing Will get bullied, get into a literal possession.
Yeah.
Mike having this trauma with 11, you're constantly seeing that, but then when you see that emotional release and you also feel better that they're now back together, I don't know, it felt like such a detox, but also it really symbolized everything, I think. I feel like the fandom tends to really ignore the season, even though to me, once again, it had the peak moments. Because besides Mike and Eleven's reunion, besides Will's possession, I thought the snowball scene was so adorable, and I genuinely go back and rewatch that at least once a year. Every breath you take, the kids dancing, Dustin dancing with Nancy. There's just so many precious moments there, and I also love Steve dropping off Dustin at the ball and the fact that he has the same hair. I don't know, for me that was such peak Stranger Things, and it was when the fan service felt earned and it didn't feel like it was aware of itself. It just made sense with all that they had gone through in that season. It was like a reward for us witnessing it all, and I don't know, it just was really touching for me.
Yeah, what was his hairspray that he used? It was like Nancy Pelosi. Oh, yeah.
Nancy Pelosi. Oh my God.
Farrah Fawcett spray. Yeah. I think another thing that I wanted to touch upon with this season is that when you see kind of how they created the dynamic of evil versus good, and that is the mind flayer using Will in order to give fake information to the military and also the doctors to lead them into a direction that is ultimately a trap.
Yep.
I believe that, and I went with it, and I was scared too. I felt more from that than I did from seasons 5 realization of like the trap of where they're bringing the kids in and they ultimately lose the timing of it, and
Mr. What's It.
And yeah, Mr. What's It lose the timing that gets the kids. I just kind of felt like okay, and you know why? It's because I believed in Mike and I believed in Will. I wanted them to be safe.
I mean, we had attachment to them from previous season.
And that's the thing that I think slowly the Duffer Brothers and their writing team stopped realizing, we have attachment to these characters. It should just be about them.
Just take advantage of it.
Take advantage of it. If you're gonna do a moment like, let's say season 5 is, we're taking Mike and he's like the princess, and 11 is Mario. I'm on board.
Mario's a psychopath, a womanizing, animal abusing psychopath. But
Mario's a psychopath?
I don't care about these kids. I don't care about his sister. If his sister literally died in 1 second, I'd be like, damn, that sucks. I wonder what Mike's gonna say. That's the thing I'm thinking about. I don't care about the rest. So they got this right, in my opinion. I think season 2 was a clean show. It just made sense. Is it something that wakes you up all day? No, I don't think it does. But if there was a season 3 that was just as good and took everything to another level, we would love season 2 so much more. But it just went, season 3 just went a completely different direction.
Is your finger looking good?
So now that we've talked about the plot of season 2 and our feelings about it, I'm gonna get into how 2017 kind of affected season 2. It's not gonna be as prominent as 2016 because it's only been a year since the show came out, but there's definitely some defining pop culture moments that I think became juggernauts because of Stranger Things. In the first part of our video, I talked about how I got into Stranger Things during a time when I was reading It by Stephen King. And in 2017, they released a new version of It, and it had Finn Wolfhard in it. And I feel like him having that role obviously has to do with his role in Stranger Things.
Yeah, definitely.
But we have to mention that It wasn't just big in my heart. It went on to become the unadjusted highest grossing horror film in history, surpassing The Sixth Sense, which made $672.8 million. It's currently the 3rd highest grossing R-rated movie after Deadpool and The Matrix Reloaded. It was literally one of the biggest movies of that year.
Definitely.
And what's funny too with it is that obviously besides Finn Wolfhard, the plot is very similar to Stranger Things. I mean, kids on bikes being haunted by this entity. They're inspired by King, and also the Duffer Brothers were supposed to direct it.
Right.
But they didn't have enough chops then.
Yeah.
But maybe like if they'd made Stranger Things, they would have been able to, but I'm glad now that we know their chops, I'm glad they didn't direct that movie. Something else that felt 2017-y for me was the fact that Barb's plot actually made it into Nancy and Jonathan's purpose in the show. The fact that Netflix allowed such a big show with everyone's eyes on it to let fans affect everything, I think it opened a Pandora's box for other big IPs to be like that.
I think the last thing we have to talk about is like the elephant in the room, which is
the Lost Daughter episode. Part of them was following the trend of the Me Too movement and having more female power representation, that type of thing. And they wanted to create this dynamic with 8 and 11. And I wouldn't mind that being something, but I just think the way they executed it was very, very flat. We thought that the Duffers would ignore its existence completely. So when Callie made an appearance in 5, I really did not expect that.
Did you like that?
No.
Okay, you didn't like that.
That she made an appearance?
Yeah, that she made an appearance.
No.
You didn't like that. Why?
I didn't like it because we already had so many damn cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'm not even getting anything out of 11, the main character. And now I gotta worry about Callie. The Duffers have a fetish of killing off C characters. They really do.
I think they just find it easy to make emotion, to create easy emotion. They're like, we need emotion.
That's
How
such
do we
a
kill somebody
writing
off?
hack job because you just, every time it gets complicated where you actually have to give a character an arc or make them get out of their comfort zone and not just be this little puppet in the background. Let's just bring a character whose entire purpose is just like bring in this point. Yeah. That really pisses me off. It's like such a, you have the princess, the prince, the wizard, the king, the witch, and they all have their part, but then the Duffers like bring in the whole medieval town. Like the prince and princess get lost in that crowd. They can't find each other because everyone's just, I don't know if that made any sense, but I just can't stand that.
So yeah, season 2 had a lot of great and cute moments. It built the foundation for what Stranger Things is.
It's scary.
It's scary, it's strange, it held on to that concept and ran with it.
Bob Newby.
But then comes a mall to change everything up. Some Russians as well, and a bit of slurp from a Slurpee. Lilith, you want to give me a handshake?
No. Can you watch season 3 without me?
You're going?
No! No!
You have got to understand that there are consequences to your actions.
You are like